So I have put the bucket name in the s3 underscore bucket variable and the object name in s3 underscore object underscore key. And I'm getting this from this event records. And here I'm getting it from event and then records. Then the first array is s3 bucket followed by name. This is how we get it from a dictionary. And then I'm calling this function process underscore data and I'm passing the s3 bucket name and the object key. And this is the function. Now what I'll do is that I'll be using Python SDK, which is Boto3, to copy the file to a temporary location, which is /tmp. And here you see, you get these suggestions. These are all Amazon Q developer suggestions, which is essentially GenAI. You can use that or else you can do it yourself. So of course I want to do it yourself. So I'll import Boto3 and then I'll define the S3 client with the name of the service, which is S3, and the region, which is AP South 1. Now what I want to do is that I want to download the file in the TMP location, right, which is mounted automatically in the Lambda function, that is /tmp. Now to do that, I'll have to use this download underscore file if I'm not wrong. So Amazon Q has automatically generated the code. So the bucket is S3 bucket and this is the object and this is the directory. Now instead of just data.csv, I have changed the name to empdata.csv. Now once it is done, I'll open the file and read the file and just print the ID and the email. That's it. Or emp ID and the email. And this is something that you already know, right? So this is a Python code which you already know. The only thing which is worth noting is this SDK, which is download underscore file, and it is used to download an S3 bucket to a particular directory and an object or a file name. So I'm naming the file to be emp underscore data.csv. And here I have mentioned print statement. So I should be able to see the output in the CloudWatch log. So let me go ahead and deploy the code. And now I'll upload the file emp4, which has 1000 records. And once the upload is done, I should be able to see the output in the CloudWatch log. So the execution is done. Monitor it will take some time because we are using the free version of CloudWatch. So that's why the monitoring would take certain amount of time to come here, but we can see this in the CloudWatch log. So this is the processing and I should be able to see another log stream, which is this latest one. And here I should be able to see the output. Okay, it says that there's an error, name S3 is not defined. Okay, so there's some problem in the code itself. So instead of S3, it should be S3 underscore client. That's how I have defined the S3 client, right? So it is S3 underscore client rather than S3. So that's why sometimes I do not trust GenAI. Anyway, so now it is done. I'll deploy it again, upload a new file, or maybe I'll delete all of them and upload the first file, which is lambda emp1.csv. Now, once the upload is done, the lambda code will get executed and I should be able to see the output pretty soon. Okay, let's go to CloudWatch logs. There should be one more log stream. Actually, there are multiple. Let me start afresh. I have deleted all the log streams and now I'll be uploading a new file, which is lambda emp2. Once the upload is done, the code should be executed. If there is no error, then it should print the output. If it does not, then we would know that there's some error. Now let's go to CloudWatch logs again, and there should be a new log stream. Actually, there are multiple log streams. So it started. After some time, we are able to see the actual error logs, and this is what the log is. You see the duration is 60,000 milliseconds, which is nothing but 1 minute or 60 seconds. And let's look at the status. What does the status say? Okay, this is the report. This is the build duration. This is the memory size. And the status says it is timeout. Why it has timed out without processing the file? Because again, let's go back to the configuration and let's go to the general information. The timeout that I had given was 1 minute. So this program was not able to complete itself within 1 minute. That's why it timed out. So I'll have to increase the time from 1 minute to maybe the maximum, which is 15 minutes. And this is one of the major reasons that you should not do any heavy duty work or heavy duty data processing using Lambda. Okay, the updation is done. Now let's upload a new file, which would be lambda emp3. The upload is done and the execution should have been done by now. We'll not be able to see it in monitor pretty soon. It will take some time. But let's look at the CloudWatch logs. And this is the latest log. We'll wait for some time to see what happens. Okay, so after executing for 10 minutes, I'm getting this error, connection timeout. So connection timeout on endpoint HTTPS or the S3 bucket endpoint, then the folder, and why it is happening. So whenever we are trying to download the file using the SDK, it is not able to do so. There can be one reason that I can think of. If you go to the bucket and look at the bucket permission, the bucket has block all public access enabled. And at the same time, if you go to the VPC or the subnet that you have used, all the public subnets, there is a no VPC endpoint to the S3 service in Mumbai. So let us go ahead and create a VPC endpoint and then try the program again. So to do that, so I'll have to click on endpoints here and I'll create an endpoint, and it would be an S3 service, and the name of the service would be S3. That is com.amazon AWS AP south1.s3. So I'll be using the gateway endpoint and I'll assign it to the 3IAM Spark VPC, and I'll assign it to the public route table. Click on create endpoint. So once it is done, let me go back to the route table, and now this public route table should have an endpoint to S3. So this is the S3 endpoint from the VPC. Now let's try again, and I'll be uploading the file in the Lambda input folder. I deleted all the previous files, by the way. It has started. So these are the two log groups. And now let's open this. The build duration is 118 milliseconds this time. And here we see all the records, right? So these are the records. We have the employee ID and the email ID. So this is the employee ID, this is the email ID. So see all the employee and their email is coming. So it is working now. So we were able to successfully execute the Lambda function using S3 trigger, wherein we uploaded the lambda emp1.csv file. The Lambda function got executed automatically. Let me do it one more time, and this time before executing the Lambda function, I'll drop all the CloudWatch logs, or all the log streams, by the way, so that we can see it afresh. So now I will upload the lambda emp2 file in this folder, and once the upload is done, it should execute the Lambda function. In the monitor, it would take some time to come because it is CloudWatch free tier. So that's why it will take some time for CloudWatch to show the matrix here. But we can see the output in CloudWatch logs in the log groups. This is the log group AWS Lambda and the name of the Lambda function. Inside of log stream, I had deleted all log streams earlier. Let me refresh, and this is the latest log stream. Now if I open this is the request ID, and you see it is showing all the employees. There are older events also, so I can load the older events. So let me start from beginning if possible. So this is what it is. We have ID and email. This is the first ID and the first email. So we have 1000 IDs and 1000 emails. So the print statement is working and the Lambda function is also working. Now we will change the Lambda function in such a way that it is written in another S3 folder or S3 bucket.